Hey everybody, thought I'd do a little coffee with me time. Cup of coffee. Not that that's an important part of the video, but I thought I'd just do a little coffee with me. I've had some ideas of some things I want to chat about recently, and I thought today would be a good time to get to one of them. One of those things that I am currently feeling really, I don't know, convicted about, really like it's really important right now, is this thing called love languages. It's a concept developed by somebody. They wrote a book. I read the book. I did read the book. I'll put a link in the description. This is starting off well. I'll put a link in the description for the book or some information about it. But anyway, essentially what it boils down to is it's an interpersonal communications type of theory that how you feel valued or loved in a relationship changes depending on who you are. That there are five like categories that people could find themselves in terms of how they how they feel the most loved in a relationship. Such as, like, one of the love languages is gifts. People who like to receive gifts, and that's what they find most validating in a relationship. Or there is people who like to spend quality time with another person in a relationship, and that's the most important thing to them. People who like acts of service. So you like when people clean up, or you like when people make something for you. I don't know. There are people who value words, affirmations, people saying kind things to them or building them up verbally. And then there's, the fifth one is physical touch, like people who are really into hand-holding or hugging or whatever, and that's very important to them in a relationship. And essentially the theory is that one of those five things is the most important to you. And that's like the base of what's bothering you if you're bothered in your relationship. And that one of those five things is most important to your partner or your spouse. And that if you're not providing that thing that is most important to them, then that's why they're bothered in your relationship. And this is covered in the book, but just in case you're confused, just to clear it up right off the bat, 3 minutes into the video, they don't count sex as being one of the five love languages. Like, apparently most men and some women will say, oh yeah, I'm a physical touch person, but they really just mean sexual intimacy, and that's not included. Like, you have another thing that is most important to you. Not that it doesn't count or it's not important, it's just not one of the five categories. That you actually find one of those other five very important, and if you include sexual intimacy, you'll dismiss your other important thing, and then you won't get that need met, and you won't be helped. So anyway, there we are. And I read this book. I already kind of knew about it, but I thought, I'd never read it. Maybe I should read it. So I read it. The book wasn't earth-shattering because I already knew the basic tenets of the philosophy. But it did kind of make me think about it more deeply and figure out what my love language is and what my husband's is. And I kind of thought I knew, or at least I guess I knew what they weren't. But I don't think I really got it right the first time I tried to think about it, which was years ago, like when we first got married. And now I think I have it right. So, like, what I've been doing since we moved, I've been really intense about my housekeeping, like really working on keeping up the house, doing little projects around the house, like making the bed every day. I rearranged the bedroom one night while my husband was working. I do make sure I do the dishes. I make sure I have dinner ready. All these things, which would technically fall under acts of service as a love language. And I was doing all of those things, and I realized it's not what my husband gives a rip about. Like, he'll appreciate them verbally, but it didn't seem like it was really moving him. And after kind of reading the book and thinking about it, I realized his actual love language is words of affirmation. He just wants me to tell him that I think he's fantastic. Okay. Which is funny because he does that to me all the time. And what the book tells you is, the thing that you try to do for others is usually what you find important, not what they find important. And he does this to me all the time. He'll give me compliments, or he'll mention that he noticed I did something. And it's like, yeah, that's nice. It's not really my big sticking point. And I wasn't doing that for him. So I've started, leaving him little notes or just mentioning, like, hey, you mow the lawn. You're a lawn hero. I hate mowing the lawn. Or, you look really sharp today. Or, I'm so glad you do the banking because I hate it. That kind of thing. Like making sure I say more verbal things to him about how fantastic he is. Not that I'm going to stop doing the dishes and making dinner. That's that's not like going to help my marriage as much as this other thing. And vice versa. I told him what I figured out my love language was, and it's not what he thought it was at all. He's like, well, it's obviously physical touch because you always want me to hug you. No, it's really not. Like, I like hugs. I don't know. I like hugging. I like to hug my boys. I like to hug everybody. I hug my friends. I hug my family. But that's not really the problem. Like, if he doesn't hug me enough in a day, I'm not going to get antsy, What really kind of gets my gourd, it's this quality time thing. And I didn't realize that about myself. Because I've always said, all things I really appreciate about my husband is, he's kind and generous and he does a lot of things without being as I thought it was acts of service. And then I sat down and I thought about it. No, that's what I was trying to force upon him, but it's not what my love language is at all. I'm a quality time person, which I figured out because the thing that will upset me the most is if he texts me and says, I'm going to be late coming home from work. Or he'll come home on Thursday or Friday night and say, by the way, all day Saturday I have to do something for work. And it just crushes my mood. That's how I figured out the quality time is my love language. Because what I want to do is I want to spend time with him. And it really kind of teased me off. If, the kids go to bed, we sit down on the couch, and he immediately turns away from where I sit on the couch and flips on the television. That just kills me, especially if it's not a show I even like. We have this time we could talk to each other, and you just immediately turn on the TV. You have no interest in talking to me. Wow. And no, that's not true. It's just a habit. It's just what he does. He's like, ooh, let's relax. Pop on the TV. It's not like I'm ignoring you. But to me, it was reading, I'm ignoring you. Because apparently quality time is very important to me. And I said, I just want you to listen when I talk to you, even if it's not important. Which actually the book said, you want people to listen to you blather on. And that's true. I have a lot of stupid and not important things to say, but I can't say them to my children because they don't even understand what I'm talking about. So he gets home and I just want to word vomit all this stuff of my ideas that I've had during the day or funny things I heard or whatever. And I just want him to pay attention, not to turn on the TV to something I don't like, and not to interrupt me in the middle of what I'm talking about, even if he's bored. I want him to pay attention to what I'm saying, even if it's not that interesting. Anyway, so I told him that, and I told him, I think your words of affirmation is that accurate. And he said, why do you think that? And I said, well, because you get really affected, by my tone or my words. If I say something and you think I'm angry, it really bothers you. And I said, that's kind of a sign that this is your thing. And he said, yeah, maybe you're right. So we were able to sit down and have a good conversation about it. And he's really been trying. It's adorable. I'll come into the living room at 8 or 9 p.m. and he'll turn off the TV. Or when I'm talking, he'll start interrupting me and then he'll just be like, oh. And then try to listen to the stupid thing that I'm telling him. So it's really adorable. Anyway, I suggest checking out, I don't know, the principle. I don't mean read the book. The book itself, the writing, the whatever. It's not life-changing. It's really just the principle of the thing that might be helpful to you in your marriage, or if you're just dating, or Maybe you're even having trouble in like a friendship or with a sibling or something. Because this is not just romantic relationships. It's like any interaction between two people. It's like how you show that you care about the other person. It has to be how they feel cared about, not whatever you want to do or how you feel cared about. So anyway, I just wanted to chat about that because that's the thing that's been in my brain that I figured out that I thought was kind of cool that might be helpful. Yeah, that's what I know. Have a nice day. See you later. Bye.